Welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about the very best comic books you could buy this week. We got the best indies, Marvel, DC, all the best North American comic books you can get your hands on. And always, we do have Drew from Comics Lead. How you doing, Drew?
Doing great, Wes. Yeah, this week was it was not as impressive as last week. Lower amount of recommends this week, but there's still some good stuff.
Absolutely. The first one I'm going to recommend is actually a comic book from last week. I didn't realize Barbaric, Hell to Pay #2 had come out from Vault Comics. Michael Moreci and Nathan Gooden once again on this series. Really interesting stuff here. We're on the third volume. And we've got Owen in Hell, and he appears to be enjoying it just a little bit too much, Drew. He probably shouldn't be having so much fun in Hell, learning that there are basically no consequences to his actions, at least while he's there. As he's planning his escape, apparently he doesn't want to stay there forever. In the meantime, we do have Axe with another team of heroes, Steel, and I can't remember the other lady's name. I think it's Solaire or something like that. But he is getting drunk on magic blood and enjoying every single minute of it as they're storming the castle, and we're starting to see some things from the past start merging together.
Yeah, I thought it was an all right issue. It wasn't my biggest recommend of the series, but mainly because, I mean, for me, like the two female leads of this book, I'm not the biggest fan of them. Kyle's not the biggest fan of them, but they're getting their own series. So hopefully after this volume, we'll focus more on Barbaric, him again. But yeah, to me, the standout of this issue is the art. The art, once again, is terrific. I have no complaints, grievances at all with this art. If anyone isn't checking out this book, if not for the art, I mean, yeah, the story is okay too. It's good. Not as good as the first volume was, but it's still a very enjoyable series from Vault. Please do check this out.
Sounds like Drew is a part of the patriarchy.
Yes, I am, unfortunately. Yes, sorry.
My goodness. Drew is recommending Phantom Road #1 from Image Comics. Jeff Lemire, Gabriel Walta on art here. Now, this isn't going to be the art style everyone's going to like. It has an indie flair to it, kind of reminiscent of what you're going to see in like an Ice Cream Man. So if you like that kind of art, you're definitely going to want to look at this one.
However, the art style very much fits, I feel, a story like this. If you look at Jeff Lemire's stories, like whether it's he's doing the art himself or other people, different art styles, different stories. They're all unique in their own way. But what was really, this was my strongest recommend of the week. Almost everything of this book, to me, my opinion, was top notch. Just whether it's the pacing, the dialogue, the art. So the premise of the story is you got people on a highway, they're driving, they see something, and both oncoming cars, they wreck. And then one of the guys gets out of his car, he touches something in the middle of the road. They go somewhere else, but it's the same place. And they get attacked by these naked and faceless creatures. Do they survive? You got to read to find out. This is a terrific horror book, terrific first issue. Please do check out Phantom Road #1, guys.
And I'm just going to give you a little hint. If you like horror comics, this is the show for you, because most of these recommendations are from Drew, and he is addicted to the horror book comic books this week.
I'm wearing an Evil Dead shirt.
He's also recommending King Spawn #20 from Image Comics, Sean Lewis, Javier Fernandez. I can't believe we're at 2 years of this, with the big Spawn universe being rolled out, and it's still going strong, still selling well across the board.
Yeah, it really is. They're selling well here at Comics Lead in the stores, whether it's on Whatnot. Yeah, they're solid across the board, and the covers are beautiful as well. And the story for this one, I really enjoyed the story. So Terry, who married Wanda, Al Simmons' Spawn's wife, former, well, now ex-wife, they had a daughter, Cyan, and Cyan's been kidnapped. What's that?
His widow.
His widow, sorry. Yes. And so Cyan's been kidnapped, and Terry, pretty much, he's going to burn down the whole city to find her. And hey, if I were the father, I couldn't blame him. I'd do the same thing. But what he finds at the end is doubly shocking. Did not see that ending coming. It's like, oh, this is interesting. But yeah, solid art, pacing, good dialogue, strong recommend for King Spawn #20.
Absolutely. In the last indie comic book, we're going to be recommending Red Winter Fallout #3 from Scout Comics. Michael Gordon, Alberto Massaggia on art here.
Yeah, so the international investigation and mystery only get deeper with this series. I'm really digging this. This is so much fun. Yeah, so you have parties on all sides. They want heads for what happened at the refinery. Yeah, no one can trust anyone, and we have a kick-ass fight scene for the first several pages. I loved it. And there's a big connection that's finally revealed between two parties here toward the end of this issue. This is a strong recommend. This is a very good comic. You guys do need to check out Red Winter Fallout #3. Check out this series. You will not be disappointed.
So those are our indie comic book recommendations. Let's move over to the big two. Start out with Marvel. We got 2 recommendations for you. I'm definitely recommending Ghost Rider number 12, Ben Percy, Corey Smith on art here. They're trying to bring Danny Ketch back again. It feels like I've read this story about 6 times now, but they're taking a little bit of a different direction here. This is about as a disgusting way to bring a character back as I've ever seen. The story might not be as hard-hitting and fast-paced as I would like, but it's the Corey Smith art that really puts this series and this episode particularly over the top, because he takes Ben Percy's script and he takes it and he dials it up to about 50. It is so disgusting, I can't even describe it.
One of my favorite pages is actually one of the very first ones. It's where we see Johnny Blaze transforming, and you just see his fingers like kind of more or less peeling off his skin. I say no more, but please do check out this art. His art is terrific, and it is perfect for this series. And like you said, the story is not as hard-cutting, as hard-edged as you think it is, as you hope it will be. As I'm reading it, I'm thinking, I know who it is. I know who it is. And by the end of it, it's like, oh my God, it's him. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Danny, in the next issues. And a lot of the character design art they have for him, he looks like he's got like a Weapon X thing going on with him. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a very fun issue. Please do check this out, especially for the art. Ghost Rider number 12, guys.
But do not let your kids pick up that comic book, because it will give them nightmares.
Absolutely. They will not
nightmare fuel those pages. Another comic book from Marvel you're recommending, Murder World Game Over number 1, Jim Zub, Netho Diaz. I'm a huge Arcade fan. In fact, he's my favorite Marvel Comics villain. I haven't been able to get into this one. I don't like that there's just individual number 1 issues, and it doesn't feel like maybe there's an entire story being told. I'm not the world's biggest Jim Zub fan, but his Thunderbolt series is actually pretty good. So I think if maybe they had marketed this better, I probably would have checked it out, because I do love the villain, but I don't know, it just felt so weird. This
has been a very weird series. And like you, I'm not the biggest Jim Zub fan either, but I do love Arcade. I do like him. And the issues leading up to all these number 1s, I just read them. They're okay. They weren't great. But this issue, holy crap, Jim Zub, he nailed it with this one. This had a very shocking ending that I couldn't believe. I did not see coming. Jim went there. So we're so used to now in tropes, whether it's like Marvel or DC, like we know certain characters, whether it's their demographic or whatever, like they're going to survive. Don't worry about them. They're going to make it. They're going to be the hero. No, it's all tossed out the window. Jim goes there and like, holy crap, good for him. And what Arcade does in this, it is effed up. It's hilarious. He is a psycho, and I dig it. This is the Arcade I wanted. This is the Arcade we've all wanted. We've been waiting for. Don't read any of the prior issues. Just read this one to see the true, Arcade in his purest form and how insane he is. Check out Murder World Game Over number 1. Jim Zub finally nailed it.
And that's one of the reasons I like the characters, because he's one of those villains that feels irredeemable. He's not important enough for them to go and do a backstory where he becomes all this, it's just heartfelt and everything like that. I'm glad they haven't ruined the villain yet, and I'll probably go check that one out, because I do love me some Arcade. The final recommendation today is going to be Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead number 6. I believe the final issue of Bruce Campbell and Eduardo Rizzo working together on this Sergeant Rock versus a Nazi army of zombies. He wanted to do some mean stuff to Hitler, and he does it here. Pretty crazy.
Yes, he does. Yeah, in this issue, it's Sergeant Rock versus zombie Hitler, and it's awesome. It is just a long, drawn-out fight, and I shouldn't say long and drawn-out. It's a bad analogy for it, but it's just a kick-ass fight throughout the whole issue. It is so much fun. Eduardo Rizzo's art, still incredibly top-notch. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of his art, but hey, and to me, his art style fits this story.
There are no backgrounds.
Oh, yeah, there's no backgrounds. Yes. And trust me, when you're looking at a book like this, you're not looking at the backgrounds. You're looking at the figures fighting each other, and he nails it. Yeah, you will not be disappointed with this, especially if you hate Nazis. And yeah, this is very action-packed. Please do check out Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead number 6.
Well, those are our comic book recommendations for the week. I do want to say thank you very much, Drew. Do you have any final words to the fans?
Yes, please. If you're at your local comic book shop, please do check out Born of Blood number 5. It's currently in stores this week. Thank you.
If you enjoyed the video and you're like, well, I don't know what else I'm going to do, I'd like to watch another video. Well, YouTube looked at the videos I've made and the videos that you've watched and decided this was the best video I ever made in my life just for you. You got a little bit more time? Definitely check this one out for some more Thinking Critical YouTube.